Next topic is inductance. So we have already learned about capacitance. It is a component very similar to capacitance. So let us learn about inductance. So we know what is a resistance. We have also learned about capacitance. Third component is inductance. It is generally represented by L, and this is called inductance. So this is the third component. Now let us learn what is inductance. An electric current can be induced in a coil by a flux change produced by another coil in its vicinity. So in Faraday's experiment, we have seen this is the first coil C1, this is the coil C2. So this first coil was attached to a galvanometer and this second coil was attached to a battery. So when we move this or tap the key, so a current is produced in this coil C1. Second case, sometimes flux change produced by the same coil. Flux change produced by same coil gives rise to an electric current. So whatever the case here, these two situations are described separately in next two subsections. So detail we will learn later, but whatever the case, whether we are seeing the movement of these or flux change in this coil itself is producing some kind of current. In both the cases, the flux through the coil is proportional to the current. So this is proportionality. So what is important? Flux is proportional to the current. Okay. Now let us do the differential. d phi b upon dt is proportional to di upon dt. Here they have considered that geometry of coil does not vary with time. So geometry does not vary. So if it is a circular coil, it will remain circular coil because phi b has two terms. What are those terms? B, A and dot product of these B and A. So if area is changing, that means geometry is changing, area might change. So geometry is also not changing. So what happens? The flux change is proportional to change in current. So that we have seen, this phi b is proportional to I and change in flux is proportional to change in current. So flux increased, current increased, flux decreased, current decreased. This is what we are trying to say. Now if there are n turns, so same magnetic flux is linked with all turns that we have seen. Now what happens in this case? So in this case the flux will increase n times for a closely wound case, and this n phi b is proportional to I. What we have just done, we have just multiplied by the number of turns. Just multiply the number of turns into this. Now let us see. So we have this equation here. So what we did, we simply put n here because now there is not a single turn but n turn in the coil, suppose 2. So current will be double. Current will be double because flux change with a single was phi b and now the flux change is double. Okay. So current will be double. If we have 3, 4, 5, so hence this current or EMF will increase. EMF will increase accordingly. But as you know that all these proportionality relations need some kind of constant. So what is the constant here? The constant of proportionality here in this relation is called inductance. So n phi b is proportional to I or phi b is proportional to I. Now we need a constant of proportionality. What is that constant of proportionality? Let us put here L. I am showing it with L. So inductance L I. So this is the constant of proportionality. We shall see that the inductance depend only on the geometry and intrinsic material properties. Okay. So we will see that this inductance depends only on the geometry and intrinsic material properties. This aspect is akin, that means similar to capacitance. So we have already discussed this is very similar to capacitance, which for a parallel plate capacitor depends on plate area and plate separation. So similarly here also inductance depends on geometry. So there in capacitance, plate area and plate separation, and dielectric constant, material, and the intervening medium. So similar thing here. So what was this dielectric constant? This was the material property. What was the geometry? Area and plate separation. So capacitance dependent on two things, geometry and material. Same thing here. What we have, this inductance depends on geometry and material property. Now inductance is a scalar quantity and it has dimension ml square t minus 2 a minus 2 given by dimension flux divided by the dimension of current. So flux divided by current, because what we had n phi b, since n does not have any dimension, phi b has dimension, divided by I. So what we get? Inductance, because n phi b was equal to Li, L is equal to phi b upon I. So in this way, flux per unit current, so we get inductance. The SI unit of inductance is Henry. So this is important. So SI, what is SI unit? SI unit is Henry, is denoted by capital H. It is named in honor of Joseph Henry. So we were understanding the experiments initially by Faraday and Henry. So see, important thing, Faraday. On the name of Faraday, Farad is written, which is the unit of capacitance. On Henry, both were pioneers, both were doing great experiments about electricity. So on his name, the unit of inductance is given. So inductance is Henry, capacitance is Farad. So this we have learned. So this is inductance. Now let us learn about one more phenomena, which is mutual inductance. So how current in a coil can generate current in another coil. So let us see the figure first. So we have this figure. So this is the length of the coil or solenoid, you can say solenoid or coil. We have two coils. This is first coil inside, and outside we have a bigger coil. So we have two coils. Two coils are with the same center, that means center is same, this center remains same. Center for bigger coil is also same, center for this smaller coil is same. When there is a length, so what we say, instead of center we say axis. So both are say on the same axis. Since there is not a single center, this is a cylinder kind of structure, so there is axis for both of them, axis is same. So for first coil, this radius is R1. For bigger coil, this radius is R2. What is length? Length is L for both of them. Now this coil is called S1. This coil is called S1. Oh, sorry, S2. S1 means solenoid 1. Solenoid 1. Coil or solenoid. And this S2 is equal to solenoid 2. S2, this is solenoid 1, solenoid 2. So we have two solenoid which are on the same axis. Length is equal to L. Radius of bigger solenoid is R2. Radius of smaller solenoid is R1. So this we have. And now one more quantity. This bigger coil has N2 turns. Smaller coil has N1 turns. And number of turns per unit length, N1 for first coil is equal to N1 upon L, this you know, because length is same. Now for second coil, N2 is equal to capital N2 upon L. So these are the some quantities that we have to remember when solving this problem. So N1 is equal to N1 upon L, N2 is equal to capital N2 upon L. So this is bigger one is solenoid 2, this is for 2, this is for 1. So bigger one is solenoid 2. Now after understanding figure, let us see what is happening here. So we have seen this figure which shows two long coaxial solenoids. So coaxial means the axis is similar, each of length L. So length is L. We denote the radius of inner solenoid S1 by R1. Inner is S1. And the number of turns per unit length is small n1. Total turns capital N1 divided by L. This is N1. The corresponding quantities for outer solenoids are So what for outer solenoid, radius is R2, number of turns are per unit length are N2. Now N1 and N2 be the total number of turns in these coils. So we have understood the diagrams. In outer coil there are N2 turns, in inner coil N1 turns, and we have seen the number of turns per unit length because both are of same length. Now what we are doing in this case? In first case we are passing this current I2 in the solenoid S2. So inner coil does not have any current, outer coil we are passing the current I2. It in turn sets up a magnetic flux through S1. So since some kind of current is passed through this outer solenoid, suppose this is outer solenoid, okay, so definitely there will be some kind of magnetic field. Direction depends on this, how we are passing the currents. So there will be some kind of magnetic field, and since this small coil is also inside, so this coil will feel some kind of magnetic field. So there will be a magnetic flux. Since there is a magnetic field, there will be a magnetic flux. Same thing they are saying here. When a current I2, that means current is passed in solenoid S2, bigger solenoid, this sets up a magnetic flux in smaller solenoid because smaller solenoid is inside. Let this denote by phi 1. Why this is denoted by phi 1? Because it is set up in the smaller solenoid. Now the corresponding flux linkage with this solenoid S1 is equal to, so what is this? So what we have seen, N1 phi 1 is equal to, so we have this relation N phi is proportional to I. Okay, so what we taken constant here was L, but they have used this constant M instead of L. Why? Because here we are talking about mutual inductance. So in the coil 1, number of turns N1, flux setup 1, current is I2 because in this small coil there is no current, and there is some constant which is turning this current into flux of first coil. There is a constant which is turning the current setup in bigger coil into flux in smaller coil. That constant is M12. Okay. So M12 is called mutual inductance of solenoid S1 with respect to solenoid 2. So M mutual inductance of solenoid 1 with respect to solenoid 2. It is also referred to as coefficient of mutual inductance. So this equation we have got.